SMU crew, I'm so excited about this week because with the whole craziness that's going on with Expert Secrets, we're going to dive on into Expert Strategies, a time where you are going to understand what it really takes to master social media so that you get the foundations, you understand how to create strategies, help your clients to meet their goals, or even to create your own goals, strategies, foundations, and then leverage yourself into a position of authority. I hope you enjoy this training.
And we're ready with Expert Strategies. But guys, the most important part of this is to discuss what a strategy really is. It's a question I hear all the time. You guys say, how do you come up with strategies? What are these strategies? People want to hear the strategies behind social media. And the word strategy just keeps coming up to the point where I feel like it's almost become a buzzword. So I'm going to break it down in a way that totally makes sense. This training is going to be the most simple of the Expert Strategies series, but what it's going to do is give you the foundation to understand what strategies are, how you can create and implement them, and then some of my absolute favorite strategies that I use for my clients and for myself. So basically, you guys, strategy is this simple. It is the means or actions necessary to achieve a goal. Did you hear that? It's that simple. Strategy is what it takes to get from point A to point B. So I'm going to make this really, really clear. Let's say you wanted to get from New York to California. You have several different options. You could take a car, you could take a plane, you could take a train. You can't take a boat because that strategy doesn't work for getting you from point A to point B, right? But car, train, and plane all work just fine. So that would be considered in the world of social media kind of like the strategy that gets you from point A to point B. Each one has its own efficiencies, inefficiencies, pros and cons. But in this day and age, the chances are for most people, we're going to take a plane, right? From point A to point B. But that's exactly how you figure out exactly what a strategy is. How do you get from point A to point B, which is the client's goal, in order to have a successfully implemented strategy? So I'm going to give you guys a few examples of what the goals look like that clients have. And the goals are this simple. It's point B, okay? So an example of a goal would be to increase their email list, to drive website traffic, to secure sales, to grow their following, and to engage their following. Now, I'll be honest with you, the easiest ones out of all of these are to grow and engage a following, followed by then driving website traffic and increasing the email list. And the most difficult to do out of any of these goals is to secure sales. Now, there are tons of different goals that can fall into here. For example, fundraising, or successfully launching a product, or creating brand awareness. But these are 5 that are pretty common. You're going to hear them time and time again, or different variations of them. So what I want you to understand is the importance of getting to the goals, but sometimes you've really got to dig in order to understand what a client's goal is. Now, in the discovery call, I love to ask questions about the goals. And when I ask people what their goals are, this is where you start to be able to kind of differentiate who's going to be the right client versus who's going to be the wrong client. When somebody hires you for social media and they're like, oh man, I need your work, I need social media help, but their goal is to secure sales and that goal is not accurately communicated in the beginning, you're never going to be set up for complete success. So getting really clear on what the goals are is so essential in the discovery call or in follow-up calls. So I ask that question like this. Okay, tell me a little bit about your number one goal in partnership together. What would that look like? What would a successful partnership do for your business? Those questions help you to figure out quickly, without tons of fluff, what the goal truly is. So you're not being hired and being set up for failure. Now, we're also going to dive into what the strategies would look like in order to actually achieve these goals. So we've got increase email list, drive website traffic, secure sales, grow the following, engage the following. But what does it look like to actually make these things happen? Well, I'm going to show you the specific strategies that you would use for each of those. Jab, 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 right hook. If your goal is to drive the email list growth, your goal is going to be to create amazing Facebook and social media content that keeps them super excited and engaged. So by the time you share your offer, they're opting in left and right. But all of this stems with not just promoting your own offers. That's a huge strategy. So I would call this content curation, content creation, content marketing, and expertly curated feed. So that's really, really important. Let's say the goal is to drive website traffic. You're going to want to make sure to optimize all social media and really engage the following. This is going to be similar to the first strategy, jab, 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 right hook, but optimize all the social media. Make sure that everything reflects the website so that you're always driving traffic back to the website. If their goal is to get actual Facebook sales or sales straight from social media, you're going to want to actually run Facebook ads or have a super nurtured community. A super nurtured community can also drive sales. Sometimes, for example, in the beginning of my career, I did everything organically through social media. And you know what? It really worked before I was able to afford Facebook ads. So a highly, highly nurtured following, whether it's in a group or an Instagram following that's raving and ready to buy, that can definitely be a goal. It's tough, but Facebook ads can be a great way as well to secure sales. If the goal is to grow their social media following, both this and engaging the social media following go hand in hand. I recommend advising your clients to pay $150 a month. That gives you $5 a day worth of ad spend to put towards growth, to put towards, engagement, to put towards strategy, to really, really get some major results. So you can add that into your price and say, my price is $1,000 per month, or $1,150 per month. Of that, you'll pay X to me, and then $150 will come out of your bank account, and we'll put that directly towards ads in order to make sure that we grow and engage your Facebook following. So that's one way that I love doing it, but that's just an example. So that's what I would do for Facebook. And once again, if their main goal is to engage their following, make sure you're posting expert content, which we will get into in the next week's training, where I show you how to find, engage, and truly captivate audiences on social media. So we'll dive on in together to next week's training. So what I want you to do is to use your intuition. What would you do to achieve the goal? How would you get from point A to point B? And start to brainstorm how the different platforms work together or can work together in order to truly achieve their goal using your strategy. I'll see you in the next week's training.